Welcome back to Cask and Point. Today we are trying Rare Character TKO. Now, if you don't know that much about Rare Character, they're a group that started in 2021. Two guys, Pablo and Pete. They source all of their whiskeys from MGP, from Dickel, from Heaven Hill, from all these cool places. And then they also always bottle it at cask strength, which is something that not many companies do, and it's really cool. They never water anything down. And they have a lot of different offerings. We've done a review already on KOA, which is, I believe, to be the best Rare Character of all time, other than Brook Hill, which I've done a review on and I'll post soon. And then also Pride of Anderson County, but those two are crazy. For the more normal Rare Character stuff, it's KOA is my favorite at least. And then TKO is many people's second favorite. Now, this is a rye. It's actually from the Dickel distillery, and it didn't go through the Lincoln County process that Tennessee whiskeys typically go through, which is basically a filtration through charcoal. And so this gives TKO a flavor that avoids the minerality that people typically get off of Dickel. And I've done a review on Dickel 15. I did a short on it. And so definitely check that out if you're curious about what Dickel is like. But most people don't really like it, but people love TKOs. And so I'm excited today to try, this is, I've tried a few TKOs, but this one I'm especially excited for because this is a very special pick. So this is from Beverage King, which is a store that's about 15 minutes away from me. I am a Connecticut local, so it's great to get to support a local business, one that I've actually frequented and that I've been to 20 times. But it's also a joint pick with the Rare Character Clubhouse, which is a group on Facebook, which if you're not in, you should totally check out. And it's a great group of guys. It's about 3,300 people. They help get people Rare Character from across the country. They're super nice. It's only a cost plus ship group, so you aren't allowed to make money off the group or anything, but I think that makes it 10 times better. And so they have done 5 picks, and they've all been this kind of like really sleek, only a color, and then their logo on the bottom right. They've done green, yellow, purple, and black are the 4. So this is the 5th, and it matches the TKO, which is always pink. So KOA is always this, brownish color here. TKO is always pink, and so it's a beautiful pink on pink bottle. And also, this was for breast cancer awareness, and so while the bottle was $100, you did have to make a $50 donation in order to try it. So, in order to buy it, excuse me. So, really cool. So, I paid $300 for these 2 bottles here, and I know a lot of people have been going crazy about this exact bottle and really want to try it, but today, we're going to try it. It's enough for a character spiel. Let's try some whiskey. I'm so curious. I'm so excited. Let's see just how good the actual bottle really is. Okay, on the nose, there's a ton of rye candy. Like, more rye candy than I've ever gotten on any whiskey. Caramel, some sweet oak, some vanilla. Like a green apple candy on it as well, which is really interesting. Like, there's that normal rye candy on it, but then there's this different kind of candy that is really fruity. That smells super good. There's some rye spice and dill, but not a ton. You could tell this is a rye, but it smells like an incredibly sweet rye. Yeah, there's so much fruit on there, but it's not your typical, like, plums, cherries, figs. It's much more green apple, and there's a little bit of cherry in there, and then rye candy galore. Really candy nose on this one. Wow, that smells great. Let's try it. Wow. So, rye spice on the start, caramel, some sweet oak, some vanilla, and then it just eases you into this green apple candy. Wow. That's a good bottle of rye. Wow. I'm impressed. The finish is at least medium length. I'm going to have to take a second sip here to really determine, but that's a good TKO. Now, I've tried a few TKOs. I've tried the Winery 2, which is supposedly the best TKO of all time, and I'll put a photo of it somewhere. And I really liked it. I think it was a great rye. That one I got a lot more like strawberry cream on. This one I'm getting a lot more green apple. There is definitely a little bit of that strawberry. Maybe I'll take the second sip here and we'll see if we get more. But it's pretty close. It's hard to compare exactly. Maybe I actually do still have a sample of the Winery 2, so maybe we'll do a side-by-side in a different video, but this is a better TKO than the few I've had besides that Winery one, and this is good. Let's take a second sip. Yeah. Starts spicy, and that spice is gonna hang on to you. But then it just gives you all this kind of funky green fruit, that green apple. That's nice. That's a really nice whiskey. The finish is probably medium length. You get the spice and the pepper that'll last for a long time, as is pretty typical on good ryes. And this is 132.86 proof in 8 year, 8 months. And the mash bill is also 70-25-5. So a good amount of rye, but definitely, you know, some corn and some malted barley in there as well. But it's definitely not a barely legal rye, but it's also not a 95.5, which is like a typical MGP rye, like Brook Hill is here. You know, this is a 95.5. And so you aren't getting as much of the rye spice as you can certainly get on other whiskeys, but man, are you getting a lot of it here. And also, I had the 2 bottles here because one is signed by Pablo, who is the, you know, obviously the head of Rare Character with his friend Peter. So really cool that I have a signed bottle there. And this one I might not crack for a little while, but you know, I did crack this one, and it's gonna be a few months, and we're gonna share with a lot of people, and we're gonna enjoy it. But yeah, this is really nice whiskey. I'll take one more sip here, and then we'll give it a rating. If this is your first Cask and Point review, I rate every whiskey I've ever tried. If you want to check out the list of everything, it's on my website, which I'll link down below in the description. But I like rating things, and I like talking about how they are compared to other things. So let's try this, and then we'll talk about how it compares to everything else. Yeah, that was a lot more caramel than on the previous sips. I mean, the nose became a lot more caramel. And then it's just a ton of that rye spice, caramel, green apple, and some strawberry, some cream, butterness, kind of similar to like an OESV, single barrel strength 4 roses, where you're gonna getting like that butter, that toast. But this doesn't have nearly as much of that, but it has a little bit. But there are a lot of different elements to pick apart here. I mean, you have the fruit, you have the spice, you have kind of really, really candied note to it, and you definitely don't have any Dickel minerality. I can tell you, this does not taste like Dickel. It's supposed to Dickel says distilled in Tennessee, aged in Kentucky, aged in new charred oak barrels, bottled by Rare Character in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm so glad that they aged it in Kentucky. I don't know how much different that made everything, but I bet it made it a lot different because this is totally not reminiscent of Dickel, and it is so, so good. But let's take this final sip here, enjoy it with you guys, and then I'll give it a rating. Yeah, the mouthfeel on that is incredible. Now on this, I'm getting a bit more strawberry, but it's spice, fruit, which you're going to get some green apple fruit, very strong green apple fruit, some strawberry, a little bit of cherry and plum, but not much. And then you're just going to get, you know, this vanilla sweet oak, and then some spice and pepper will really take you out on the pour, but that's an incredible pour of whiskey. That's really enjoyable. I mean, it's battling with the best ryes I've ever had. I'm thinking of, you know, Brook Hill rye. I'm thinking of, you know, a lot of other things here. For now, I'm going to rate this an 8.4, but I can see this really opening up and getting a lot higher, and if that strawberry and cream develops even more, I can just imagine this really getting into the high 8s. This is an amazing bottle of whiskey. I am so, so glad I have 2 of them, and as I think everybody expected with this joint pick and all this information, yeah, you know, Harsha got a really good bottle here, is all I can really say. This is just incredible, but thank you all for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. We have a lot of cool reviews coming up on the channel, so make sure you check them out, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you.